Morning, folks. First video of the day. Really interesting. Super fascinating. Okay, folks, so good morning to you all, and I have no idea what this video is going to turn out like today because kind of had a false start kind of thing. Well, you'll see anyway. Well, I don't know if you'll see or not, depends on how it works out later, but anywho, so yes, again I got the time wrong. Yes, again. So again, I don't start until 10. I've been up since 4:30 this morning. It's about 8:30 now, I think, thereabouts, give or take. So yeah, you'll also notice there was no videos over the weekend. Couple of reasons. One, I needed a bit of a break. Although, don't get me wrong, I love doing my videos. You know I do. I absolutely love doing my videos. So it's not a matter of like that, you know, fed up with doing them or anything. It's just yesterday, well, I think Friday, Saturday particularly, Sunday to some extent, it's all just rain, just constant rain. Didn't let up at all, hardly. Do you know what I mean? Just a few little breaks in it here and there, but for the most part it was just rain all the way through. And you know, I just didn't feel like going out in that. So you know, obviously I didn't. I just stayed indoors, and then I was kind of stuck for, well, what do I do? What kind of a video can I make? I mean, I know I've made videos indoors many times, but you know, to be quite honest, I'm getting to that point. I don't know about you guys, but I most definitely am getting fed up with doing the same flipping videos over and over and over again. Do you know what I mean? I'm bored. I'm bored with it, guys, and I need to do something different. You know. Anyway, so I don't know what I'm going to video today for the next couple of hours until I go back to work. I have no idea. So anyway, I guess for the time being, until I can think of something or somewhere or whatever, I'm going to leave it there for the time being, and I'll catch you guys later. Bye for now. Okay, folks, so we're going to head to the graffiti tunnel, and kind of a bit of a reason why we're going to do that today, actually. Now, last time I came super early and got the wrong time. I was thinking about going to the graffiti tunnel, but then I changed my mind because I thought, well, flipping heck, been there a million times before. How many videos have I done of that place? Do you know what I mean? So, but there's a thing that's been bubbling away in my head for a couple of days now, actually. Well, I guess since Friday, really. Mainly because, like I said, I had nowhere to go. You know, the rain, obviously, was preventing any possible out and about videos and what have you. So, anyway, I don't know. I sat in the house, and you know me, I like to be creative. It's in my nature to do that, and you know, I'm at a loss if I can't create something, whether it's a video or whatever. You know, I need to be doing something like that, and it becomes extremely frustrating. Anyway, so I was thinking to myself, what can we do that's different? Because essentially we've got no money at the moment, as per usual. And you know, like I say, this bonus is still not materialising. God knows if and when it does. You know what I mean? So anyway, I was thinking to myself, I need to do something, you know. And so anyway, I started thinking to myself, you know, I've documented around here, because I was initially thinking, well, there's a lot of people don't know, well, say a lot of people, I mean, obviously a lot of my long-time subscribers will know, but there may be some newer subscribers that don't know the full history of when I first came to London, which was back in 2003, when I first hit these streets, and I first was round here, and this is where I based myself. I'll tell you what, actually, wait, traffic's moving now. I was going to cross over, but wait, now, let me think. Right, so when I head to the graffiti tunnel, we should have enough time. I mean, it's about 8:30ish, I think. I'm not entirely sure off the top of my head. So we can get across this road quick before much more traffic comes. Let's get across here. Let's go here. Right, so, but like I said, what I was thinking is, right, I was thinking to myself, well, I could sort of, you know, do another couple of videos about, you know, my start of my journey here and what have you, but like I said, I've already done that. And I was thinking, how can I do it different? And so I've got this little idea brewing in the back of my head, and I think it's probably best to be left for the weekend as opposed to the weekday, because I'm working, obviously. So basically, the idea is that instead of just re-documenting, you know, how my journey started when I first came to London, because like I said, I mean, I've done that a couple of times now, essentially, and a lot of the places are obviously a lot different compared to back then, for lots of different reasons, and so the maybe the context or how they look now, it's difficult to convey what it was like back then, I suppose, in a sense. Anyway, so I thought to myself, right, okay, so what if maybe this weekend, and maybe start on Friday to try and get myself all the way through to perhaps, because obviously I've got to make sure I time this right and make sure I can get back home and all the rest of it and get ready for work on Monday morning again. So my idea basically is this. I was thinking, starting from Friday after I finish whatever shift it is, because again, I must admit, I keep checking the rotor, but I swear to God, maybe either I'm reading it wrong or whatever, I don't know. But anyway, whatever the shift is on Friday and I finish, what I'm thinking of doing is I'm going to go and I'm going to spend the whole weekend on the street, essentially. I'm not going to go home, but then of course I've got the issue of Spot and how does he get fed. So the only thing I can think of is perhaps doing something that Joanne used to do with her cats, was like she would just like put several bowls out and fill all the bowls up, especially with dry food. Dry food's easier because obviously then it doesn't dry out in the sense like wet food does, and you know that most cats don't really like it once it's got to that stage. But I'll have to try and figure that one out. I'll have to try and work around that over this week. I'm going to try and work out how best I can work that so that I can, because like I said, my idea is that I'm going to spend the whole weekend on the street. I'm not going to go home, I'm going to sleep on the street and maybe do it round here where I started off from, and document my my time that weekend on the street, sort of thing. So document it from that perspective, you see, and kind of just see how that works out. I don't know. I mean, it's an idea. It's been bubbling in my head. I'm kind of thinking maybe that's what I'd do. Now I'm not sure exactly, to be perfectly honest with you. I'm like I say, I'm still sort of debating it. Still trying to work it out in my head whether I'm going to do this or not. But yeah, it might be an interesting experience, both for you guys and for me, in that sense. You know what I mean? Sort of relive the past to some degree. So yeah, I think that's maybe, you know, because like at least it's something. And also, maybe bring a touch of reality to it in that sense. Let me just show you this little thing here, by the way. I just want to, I mean, I have mentioned this a couple of times before, but you see, when I was homeless, I say, well, this is one of the places I based myself at, was round St Thomas's and what have you sort of thing. I remember, actually, this was actually when, strictly speaking, I wasn't homeless. Actually, this incident happened, and I was actually a patient on the ward. I was on the dermatology ward for my psoriasis at the time. But anyway, so it was like, because you're only, like the ward would close round about like 10 in the evening, and of course being a smoker meant that like after 10 o'clock that was it basically, you know what I mean? I was not going to get a cigarette until the following morning, whatever. So I came out here, I don't know what time it was, about 5 to 10 or something like that. No, maybe a bit earlier than that, actually, I can't quite remember. But obviously to come out and have a last cigarette sort of thing. And as I was walking down this corridor, which is just behind me, or in front of me there, as I was walking around that corridor, and this was like these bushes here, and these, I mean, like those big bushes there, they weren't there at the time, or if they were really small. They were like these little things here. So basically it was just like that, all the way up to the windows of that thing. And like I say, that's the main corridor there, that's the main artery of the hospital, the main corridor. And anyway, so like I say, I was walking along. I think it was after, actually, it's after I'd had a cigarette, because obviously I have to go off the premises, go and have a cigarette, blah, 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 and then I do that, and then I'll come back, and I was walking down the corridor, going back onto the ward, and as I looked out of this window, as I'm walking past, I couldn't believe what I saw. And I'm not kidding you, right? Obviously back then I wasn't vlogging or anything like that, so there's no way. I wish I kind of had been, really, because it was a sight to behold. But I kid you not, there was at least 40 rats. And I'm not kidding. I mean, I'm guessing about 40. There might have been less than that, but there was loads of them. Loads of rats. And one of them, right next to the window, just sat and looked at me when I went right to the window. Some of them sort of scuttled away as soon as they saw me or whatever sort of thing. Some ran toward, you know, more away from the window. But this one particular rat just sat there and looked at me and actually got up on its haunches and sort of like was ogling me sort of thing. It was really fascinating, scary and all, really, because it was kind of like, oh my god, do you know what I mean? It's like, look at all these rats. There was, well, I was going to say hundreds, but there wasn't that many, but there was at least about 40. There might have been less, but there was loads of them. I'm not kidding you. I'd never seen so many rats in a sort of like, you know, and this is quite a prestigious hospital. It's not like it's like a run-down hospital or anything, do you know what I mean? It's right in the city, do you know what I mean, essentially. I mean, look, there's the House of the Parliament right across the road, do you know what I mean? So, but then of course you've got the river right next to it, so of course that is part of the reason why there would probably be so many rats. And of course also, you see, the thing is, at lunch times people would come out there and eat their snacks and stuff like that, and presumably they would like leave crumbs or bits of food or whatever, and I guess that was another reason why the rats were so, you know, what's them to go around there, because they knew they'd get a free feed, as it were, sort of thing. But yeah, anyway, that's just a little one little story of what's them. But like I say, strictly speaking, that was before I actually became well, no, I mean, obviously I was homeless well before that anyway, but it was one of the times when I was actually housed, well, I was actually at a treatment centre at the time, up in a place called Epsom. And I came here specifically because my psoriasis was particularly bad at that time, and I needed some dermatological treatment, and hence going on the ward. And I was on that ward for about 2 weeks, and that was back in 2000 actually, so it was well before I actually came to London, before I was actually street homeless here. Because like I said, I was street homeless in Manchester for more or less 20 years, and then the last 18 months of my homelessness was spent here. But so that's my little plan, that's my little idea, is to maybe come here over the weekend, you know, this Friday, starting this Friday. The light is so bad at times. I know sometimes I'm in the light and then sometimes I'm in the darkness, or shade, shadow, whatever. But yeah, so I'm thinking, because another place I used to sleep was under this car park here, this underground car park. I don't know if it was specifically that part or the bit on the other side over there. It might have been this bit here, I can't quite remember. But that was another place I tried sleeping a couple of times, but I didn't stick it out down there too long. I maybe did a 1 or 2 nights there and then didn't like it that much. I don't know why, for whatever reason. Yeah, so like I said, this is my little idea, this is my little plan. So over this weekend, just literally sort of go back to the street for the weekend, and just kind of in some ways relive those experiences. I mean, I've got no money anyway, so you know, I don't have to worry about, like, well, I won't take my money with me because I haven't got any to take anyway. And you know, yeah, I don't know, it might be an interesting experience, and like I say, if I document it from that perspective, you know, if I document it from the perspective of actually living on the street. Now I know, of course, obviously it's not going to be the same as to when I was actually there, do you know what I mean? Because obviously that's going to be completely different, and of course back then, you know what I mean, I guess it wouldn't have even occurred to me essentially to do that. But you know, see, that might be another interesting thing for somebody to try. But I wonder if anyone has actually thought of that, or anyone's. Yeah, but again, I can see the issues around it. But there's got to be somebody out there. There's got to be somebody that, you know, would be, you know, that you could trust, that would actually do what you ask them to do in that sense. You know what I mean? Because I was thinking, like, what would it be like if you gave a homeless person a camera and document? I don't know, just I don't know, if about a month, maybe less than that, maybe 24 hours, maybe, I don't know. But you know, just to give a homeless person a camera and then ask them to document their everyday experiences, do you know what I mean? Because think about it, do you know what I mean? I mean, don't you think that would be an interesting perspective? Because you get it from the horse's mouth then, you get it from the person's personal experience. I mean, people do that with other things, don't they? You know what I mean? And I don't know, maybe you could rig up some sort of, like, you know, like those what's names where, like, people have it, like, a camera strapped to them or something, or I don't know. Do you know what I mean? I'm not sure exactly how you would do it, but don't you think that's a really interesting idea? I think that'd be fascinating, to be quite honest. I mean, I really do. I think that'd be so fascinating. You know, to get it from a homeless person's perspective, sort of thing, and they make the documentary, they make the film. Do you know what I mean? But like I say, obviously you've got to choose or find somebody that hopefully hasn't got an addiction of some description, because face it, you know what I mean, you give them, especially a fairly expensive camera, what do you think they're going to do with that? Do you know what I mean? Sorry folks, but that is the reality of the nature of the situation, you know what I mean? I mean, they might, you know what I mean, who knows exactly, but you know, obviously somebody that's perhaps obviously doesn't have those issues necessarily, but is just, you know, strictly speaking, obviously homeless, street homeless, and then, like I said, let them document their everyday interactions, their everyday thing. Do you know what I mean? Personally, I think that would be really, really fascinating, really interesting actually. I'd love to see what would come out of that. Yeah, so okay, filmmakers, if you ever see this video, which I highly doubt, but if you do, then come on, get back to me on that one, because I think that would be a really super interesting thing to do. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, you know, the other thing at the moment is that I've not been in contact with John for a good while. Well, just recently I sent him an email of that homeless film that I saw, and he did get back to me, and he says, oh, we must have a catch up, it's been so long, blah 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 blah. Yeah, I must try and re-engage with John at some point and propose this idea to him as well, because that's what I usually do when I come up with ideas for homeless projects of any description or whatever. I usually run it past John first, because obviously I highly respect John because of his knowledge and because of his experience and so forth, you know what I mean? And I would always run something like that past him anyway, because I know that he would come back with stuff that I probably hadn't even thought of, you know. So but yeah, I think that would be really super interesting, to be quite honest. Like I say, I mean, you know, because like that film that I told you about, that is really it's a powerful movie. It's a powerful movie, and the guy that's done it, although I don't know if he's personally experienced homelessness, I don't think he has necessarily, but he's certainly come from an area where he's seen it up close and personal, and maybe even knows a couple of people who are friends that have ended up in that situation or whatever. But you know, I don't think he himself personally has experienced it. And like I say, you know, don't get me wrong, the film looks like it's going to be a really, really powerful documentary. Oh well, I say documentary, I mean, it's obviously a film, but I mean, it's, you know, it's, I don't know if you could say docudrama or not necessarily, but anyway, the thing is, it is a good film. But like I said, the thing is that if you gave a homeless person a camera and asked them to document either 24 hours, 48 hours, something like that, I mean, I think personally, I think 24 hours wouldn't be long enough, essentially. I think at least 48 hours, at least. But I get if you do it any longer than that, then, you know, it's like how much footage can you use, you know what I mean, and so on. And I mean, exactly how long do you want the documentary or whatever you're going to call it, you know, film, whatever. How long is that going to be anyway? So, yeah, I don't know. But I would suggest about 48 hours, at least 48 hours. And then, like I said, just give them, like, maybe not just one camera, but just give them, like, maybe a handheld like this, say, and then maybe one of those, like, GoPro type things, maybe, that they can attach to themselves or whatever, so you get it from a, you know, like when you see those police videos or whatever, you know, with the body cam things type thing, do you know what I mean? Something like that, perhaps. So like a normal camcorder like this or whatever, and then like a body cam, so you can kind of get a perspective, you know, from that sort of street level, if you like, almost. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, I think that would be super interesting, to be quite honest. Right, okay, so that's my little proposal for this weekend. As they say, you know, all best laid plans of men and mice and all that. So, you know, whether it materialises or not, I don't know, we'll see. Again, also, well, mind you, I say dependent on the weather, not necessarily in this instance. I might still do it regardless of the weather, actually, to be perfectly honest with you. Right, okay, because the sun's right behind us now, so might as well point it in this direction for the time being, because we've got the sun right behind me, which obviously will make it extremely difficult for you guys to see me. Not that necessarily want to, necessarily, I don't know. Anyway, yabba yabba yabba. There's the old Millennium wheel, of course. So, yeah. Okay. Right, so I think for the time being, wow, that sun's bright, man. I can't even see the screen. Not because it's shining on the screen, because I can't even flip it open my eyes. Right, I'm going to leave it there, guys, and I'll catch you guys later. Bye for now.